Hi, I'm Rachel Boucher, Head of Content and Event Marketer here at the Siemens booth at CES 2026, where industrial AI is taking center stage. Let's take a look. And we're with Stacey Gromlich, Senior Director of Audience Engagement and Global Events at Siemens. Stacey, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. And tell us about the overarching marketing message and theme of the booth this year here at CES.
So it's hard to say overarching theme and marketing message because we really start out with the why. Why are we here? What are we trying to do this year? Are we here for brand and awareness? And if we're here for brand and awareness, then we start out in that messaging a little bit differently than if we're here for another purpose. So this year, we started with our accelerator platform information. So we started with a Siemens first approach. Our previous years, we've started with a customer first approach. We did that because as people are starting to get to know Siemens, and we've been here for a couple of years, we wanted to really set the stage and the platform for why and how people should be utilizing and engaging with Siemens. And that is because of our accelerator platform, which is our open ecosystem platform. So we tell that story right behind us. That's everybody's first stop here. And it all is held on technology to transform the everyday. Then from there, there's an experience about Accelerator, how you can use it, why it's important to you, where and how you can engage with it. And then we take them out to where the customers are, and that is how we are enabling our customers to do all of the great things that they are doing. So it's a Siemens first inner ring
Inside
story, and then a customer story with why and how Siemens ecosystem enables them to do what they're doing.
So industrial AI is this massive conversation here at the show in general. It is a massive innovation story. What do you think about when bringing to life this conversation in a booth with a design? What's going through your mind as far as the storytelling around AI, industrial AI?
Sure. Well, first of all, I think AI is the topic. Siemens really has coined industrial AI. I think that it's used very loosely, but industrial AI to us is truly the gathering data from our customers, the manufacturing facilities, and having them be able to solve problems in real times with our tools, our products, our solutions. So I think in that context, we all know how we're using AI, but in this context, we really need to have people understand how we're able to predict and respond far more quickly to things so that people can get to market far more flexibly and quickly with their products. When we look at the attendee journey, that's how we establish how our content's gonna flow. Essentially, we want everybody to come in, get a foundation and say, okay, I get it. And then explore either on their own or in a guided tour. Every single area around the booth starts out with a written blurb on who the customer is and what they're seeing. Then there's a monitor next to it with a docent that can take them a little bit further into the story. Then there's a video that plays to introduce, okay, let's now get into this a little bit further with very directional sound. So that's kind of self-guided if you want. And then there's the customer themselves with a product, a demo of exactly what they're doing. So from a customer journey perspective, you can have a self-guided experience if that's what you're looking for, or you can have a very guided experience with a much deeper dive into all of the areas.
Fantastic. Well, should we step inside first?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Here we are in our accelerator space. So behind us, we have the ability to trigger a 2-minute establishing movie on Accelerator, why it's so important, how it's changing industry, and where I fits into that, and how AI essentially grounds the rest of our Accelerator platform. Then you have an opportunity to dive deeper into this inner circle on what is our Accelerator marketplace, why is that so important, how we're able to help the smallest of small startup to the largest digital enterprise get more effective, efficient, and adaptive with what they're doing. Then you also have an interactive over here, some of the success stories of people using our accelerator platform, how they can get better engaged. Then it's coming over here and essentially making a commitment. Yes, I get it. What's the accelerator platform going to do for me? It's gonna get me to market better and quicker You see over here from a safety perspective, we can navigate safety problems far more quickly and solve them faster so that everybody is safe in a facility, and mainly efficiency. That's what you'll see here. Then from there, we port you out into our customer stories and then how we are enabling them to bring to market their goods, products, services.
We're outside the circle looking at customer stories, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So again, all three of our customer stories are done the same way. So as an attendee, it's not hard for you to figure out what you're going to engage with. You've got your content and a blurb about what the customer is. This happens to be Hattie. Hattie is making micro factories and 3D printing everything from boats for defense all the way through props for Disney. You've got your monitor, you've got your big, bold, exciting story to see in video, and then ultimately you've got the products that they are producing. Hattie, which is very exciting when we say from defense to Disney, they are actually working very closely with Disney with a micro factory in California that is able to produce not only props, but also facade. All of the Disney rock currently is rock, and it's heavy, and it's not sustainable. And so they are now able to essentially take their microfactory, program it for anything they want, and within minutes change up what they're producing and for who. And with the supply chain issues, their microfactory, all based on our accelerator portfolio and the digital twin that they can create of their factory before they go put it anywhere. They're small, they're mighty, they're flexible, they're adaptable, and you can basically create any product and change up what it's printing and producing in a matter of hours versus days on end.
Innovation come to life.
Innovation come to life. And what better and who better than for Disney?
Absolutely.
Pepsi has an inherent problem. They've got new factories and then they have century-old factories. In their century-old factories, based on people's consumer needs, they want their own flavored Cheetos, they want the Christmas Cheetos, they want the Halloween Cheetos. And the way Pepsi is having to change their product so quickly to meet market demands, their century-old factories can't adapt. It could take years to modify and change the way their factories operate, and it might not be right once they get it adapted. So with our technology, they are able in a matter of hours and days to simulate all of the equipment in the factory. If they move it around, how efficient will it be? Do they need, even from like, if you take something off a pallet and you move it across the factory floor versus having something closer by, what efficiencies do you get from that? So they're taking industrial AI to a whole new level because they're merging it with NVIDIA and the industrial metaverse and our digital twin to be able to solve their complexity and efficiency problems to meet the demand of the consumer far more quickly than they've ever been able to do before. So this is Commonwealth Fusion Systems, and they are truly going to change the way we utilize energy from a data center perspective, a grid perspective. They are essentially capturing the energy of a star on Earth and turning that into something that we can consume down here. So, I mean, those are essentially the three stories. And again, from a different angle, each of what this accelerator platform is, how it helps enable, and how each of the different customers are using it differently. So it gives us exposure, it gives them exposure, but again, to an audience that doesn't know necessarily what Siemens does, they can't rattle it off the top of their head, and they certainly don't know what all of our customers are doing with our solutions.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see them in person, I think, because you can tell the customer story through immersive video and through content, but to be able to have a conversation with a customer changes your perspective.
Yeah,
you know?
the attendee journey is really, really important all the years that we have been here, and making it different so people don't just say, oh, okay, I know Siemens, it's the square box, and we're gonna do ABC and XYZ, but that we are constantly changing the way we're telling the story. Content on the story stays the same, but the way we tell it engages people every year. So if you've seen once before who we are and what we do, you still want to come back and see what the next set of customers is doing, how it's evolved from year to year to year.
Amazing. Stacey, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.